What's another example?
But is it actually dark, or we perceive it as dark?
So what is darkness? In the end, what is darkness?
Light.
Darkness is a creation of itself. It's got its own identity, independent of light. In fact, it's higher light.
Okay.
But our experience of it is as a lack. Not because it is a lack. It is not a lack. It is an entity of itself. It's light. It's real. It's higher light. But we experience it as a lack of light, which is what darkness means to us. So that's what the Rebbe meant. Both of them are correct. It's not a contradiction. Is darkness an entity of itself, or is it its own creation? The answer is both. Is it an entity of itself, or is it the lack of light? It's both.
I don't understand why Anashama would come from that same level, even a higher source. Why can't we somehow interpret, see through that darkness, if that makes sense?
Because we're here in this world. That's an anashama. Yeah, you're not just an anashama. You're a body. You experience things through your body. If you'd be just an anashama, the whole discussion wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
What is the difference between darkness and evil?
None. Just there's darkness that's created by Hashem, and there's evil that is generated by human choice. That's a different thing. So the existence of evil, from Hashem's perspective, is what? Darkness, which is just a greater thing that you don't get what it really is.
Okay. So is that why everything is good?
Yeah. But as long as you realize what it really is, if you've been fooled into accepting your perception of it, then you might completely go off the rails. Just like darkness. If you see darkness, that I'm perceiving it as darkness because I don't really appreciate what it is, okay, then you've outsmarted the darkness. But if you say that, no, darkness is good, this is what light is, you're an idiot. Right? You're sitting in the dark, you say, no, this is light. Then you've missed the point, right? So, same with evil. It's not that evil is good. That the existence of evil, the ability for there to be evil, is because Hashem, there's a higher goodness that is so beyond this world that you can't perceive it. If you get that, so then you won't fall for evil as being what we call evil. But if you don't get it, so then you can fall for the lack of godliness as being good. That's human evil. That's a different story. So what this means is that when you appreciate what darkness really is, that darkness is not an enemy to light. It's a higher version of light. And that's its real purpose and its real existence. When you contemplate on that deeply, then you can actually transform darkness to light. You can experience the flip of getting through the facade of darkness and realizing the light within it. In our example, we're talking here about where you have realized how empty you are. You're uninspired. That's your darkness. You're in a state of lack of inspiration. Here you are, in this world, a divine soul, feeling no drive towards godliness, no inspiration whatsoever. That's your darkness that you're going through. You can contemplate on that darkness itself, meditate on that darkness itself, and that itself can be a source of light. That can be your source of inspiration. Not overcoming the darkness, that's the next bit. The darkness itself can be the source of your inspiration. The first explanation was, to overcome the darkness, do mitzvahs, even though you're not in the mood. Why? Because then you'll bring the essence of your soul all the way into your darkness, which is a greater light than you ever would have had before. That's bringing light into darkness. But the second way is, embrace the darkness. Actually use the darkness as the impetus for your inspiration. How do you do that? Because you contemplate on your darkness, on your emptiness. And that itself causes you to be bothered. That shatters your ego. And your soul comes running back. The inspiration comes running back. So there you've actually utilized the darkness itself to be a source of light. You've recognized that darkness, this opposition to godliness that is my state of darkness, is not really opposition. It's an opportunity to reach deeper. So it's subtly but very different. You're not jumping over the darkness, you're diving into the darkness.
But you're not languishing it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not an indulgent.
Absolutely not.
It's
on the
more
contrary.
like
It's a feeling of discomfort. It's not a good feeling. It's not self-indulgence.
You can indulge in like that.
In self-pity and in enjoying your own misery.
Right.
Yeah, that for sure you can. Here it's not doing that at all. It's saying it's being disappointed and distasteful with yourself. Like, how can I be like this? Not for you, because I'm here to serve a higher purpose. So, the last two lines of this paragraph. This is what it means, that there's an extra light and energy, that you live off the extra, as a result of contemplating your own emptiness, that you are the empty vessel. Through being disappointed in your own emptiness, which is your darkness, you actually reach the level of darkness that is higher than light. Because you've utilized the darkness itself is bringing you closer to Hashem. So therefore that darkness is a greater light than light is. It's the darkness that is beyond light.
It makes sense even just in relationships. Like I always say, when you have either that apathy and the apathy bothers you and you do something about it, creates a greater connection. So that's one. And the other one is when you just start doing acts of goodness to the other person, it brings you closer. And sometimes that fight is always going to be stronger than just those acts of goodness.
Right.
So it concretes it even deeper into the individuals, how much they chose it and how much they are willing to experience it.
Absolutely. And that's true of any challenge in anything. There's two ways of looking at it. They're saying this challenge is something that I need to overcome, which is a valid thing, that you need to overcome the challenge, which means you need to dig deep within yourself to be able to leap over this challenge. Or, you can actually dive in it and say, what is going on here? I'm actually experiencing a deeper level now. The darkness itself has a power.
Because I don't always enjoy it.
It's not, no.
Take it.
It's not about enjoyment. And what we'll see in the continuation of the maamar is that neither way is really about enjoyment. Because if we'd be going on enjoyment, your pleasure and your excitement is elsewhere. It's not in godliness. But even more so, what we're really trying to achieve is a level of transcendence of self, going beyond yourself. And so that means not doing what you enjoy at the moment.
Yeah. It does make it draining. You've got to be careful not to feel like you're always looking for the next thing to be fixing to get even greater. Like there's got to be an amount of it's what comes. And
correct. Which is why we don't daven, don't give me challenges, Hashem.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Why would we daven not to give us challenges when we know and everything we ever learn tells us that a challenge is the greatest gift because it brings you deeper? So what shouldn't we say? Bring it on. Give me more challenges. I want challenges. Why do we daven?
Because
don't give me challenges.
Hard.
It's hard, but okay. But if you're a deep person, which we all are very deep, so aren't we? So aren't we seasoned deep people who know all about life? So we know the challenge is the greatest gift. So shouldn't we be begging for challenges? Please give me more challenges. And yet in our davening we say, don't bring me to a challenge.
Because too many challenges. We get enough for day-to-day living.
Because as soon as you start asking for it, you've lost it. You've lost the sense of challenge. As soon as you want it, then it's not a challenge. If you ordered it, if you asked for it, if you relished this challenge, okay, that's not your challenge. Your challenge is coming, but it's not the thing that you were looking for.
Something that you're not sure you'll make over there asked for, whereas anything...
You're not even sure it's a challenge. The real challenge is this. I don't think Hashem's testing me. I think this is real darkness now. Like, this is not the darkness that Hashem's hiding in. This is the real darkness where there's no God. That's when it's a challenge.
But, like, if that
When
hasn't
you
happened,
think,
then
as soon as you
coming.
realize that Hashem is hiding in this darkness, okay, you've already overcome the challenge. You're past it now. That's the undoing of the challenge. So if you know in advance that I know it's just God, it's all God. Everything's coming from Him. So this challenge, if you knew that already, so then we've got to fool you even deeper. We've got to bring a real challenge for you, which where you think, okay, this one's not coming from God. Like, this is really.
But we know it comes from Hashem.
No, but you don't always
Yeah,
know
but not
it
this
in the
one.
moment. Like,
Everything
you know
else.
about everything, like, you know it. When you're in it and...
Well, when I'm in it, my
see, no,
emotions and my intellect tell me two different things. And my intellect, I understand it's coming from Hashem, but my emotions are like
There's no God in it.
upset.
Okay, right. But sometimes even on an intellectual level, you'll say, okay, all that stuff about Hashem challenging and testing us, is it for real? Like, maybe this is really beyond that. Like, this is outside of that
No,
system.
I mean, when would you think that?
I think that all the time.
Being
Robin
nice
wants to
with
give me
yourself.
advice. Are you kidding me? I always think he's wrong.
It was not about advice. This is about your attitude towards challenge.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a challenge. I'm just waiting for his green light.
Let's think of an example, then.
I have an example.
Yeah.
So I'm leading this group, and
Oh, you're leading the group now.
a group,
Okay.
and this group definitely not. And
I didn't mean this
I
group.
think I'm doing everything right as a leader, and I can actually show you that I'm doing everything right. My group's not pulling their weight, I think. And what's the point? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to them and said, I just don't really feel like, I'm what you need or whatever. And they said to me, Jules, you're absolutely crazy. Like, this is your issue. Go deal with it. It's got nothing to do with us. And it was at a stage where I was angry at the situation. I didn't even know it was actually my opportunity to learn about my weaknesses as a leader until they just threw it back in my face.
Right.
It was a lot more.
Right. So you thought it was their challenge, and then
Totally. I thought
okay, yeah.
I'm the greatest. I've done
Yeah.
nothing wrong. I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
And they didn't step up to the mark, so I'll go find another group that wants to run by
Yeah.
a book.
Yeah.
And as soon as I told them, I realised that I had a lot of apologising to do and a lot of ego to push away. And
Right.
to come up with a real way.
Great example.
That's hard.
So that's where
Trust me, I wasn't happy.
No, I wouldn't be happy either.
They gave me a beating. But
I would not
it
be
was a
happy that
powerful
happened.
experience to go